Nigeria aims at diplomatic end to Israel-Palestine crisis, set to begin tomorrow, Monday.
Whatever the reasons are, he thinks that both countries need to de-escalate. They must come back to the negotiating table, so that at least for the, let's have some peaceful resolution.
Communities in Ebonyi State denounce female genital mutilation. A national drug law enforcement agency smashes cross-border drug trafficking syndicates. Hello and welcome to the late evening news at 11 on Nta News24, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemunyi. The Joint Arab-Islamic Summit, for which President Bola Tinubu is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is set to begin tomorrow, Monday. Our State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab earlier joined our network service for an update on Nigeria's stake in this event holding tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. Now, with the presence of President Bola Tinubu in Riyadh, Nigeria is set for participation at this year's Joint Arab-Islamic Summit, which is focusing on the issues around the Middle East, particularly the Israel-Palestine war going on for more than a year now. And this is the third time that President Bola Tinubu will be coming to Riyadh to participate in one event or the other. Exactly 1 year ago, it was part of the Saudi Africa Summit, which also had the Arab Islamic Summit on the sidelines as well. And now it's going to be part of this again as a member of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. We have a member of Nigeria's delegation, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who is going to talk to us about what Nigeria is coming here to do actually. And we have Honorable Minister, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ms. Bao.
Okay, Honorable Minister, Nigerians are asking questions already that why is Nigeria participating in this event? Really, what qualifies Nigeria to be part of this event?
Well, thank you. First and foremost, Nigeria is a leading member of the international community. Nigeria is a very important country, not just in Africa, but on the global stage. Recall that Nigeria is the biggest black nation on earth, and we have a very close proximity with the Middle East. And Nigeria has had a very long-standing relationship with not just countries around the world, but also the Middle East. Now, recall that last year, as you said, precisely on the 11th of November 2023, the President was here at Africa Saudi Summit, which also had the Africa Arab Summit. The issue of Palestine, then very fresh. The conflict between the Palestine and Israel was very fresh. Nigeria participated. And in that summit, it was agreed that there must be a de-escalation of the conflict and return to the diplomatic table. Now, 1 year down the line, we have seen the kind of thing that has happened in Israel and in Palestine. We have seen the kind of loss of lives and destruction of property that everyone around the globe is talking about. And so when this summit was muted and Nigeria was invited, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, consistent with his thinking about being very humane. He is a very, very humane leader. He looks at the issue of humanity very seriously. Whatever the reasons are, he thinks that both countries need to de-escalate. They must come back to the negotiating table, so that at least for the, let's have some peaceful resolution. Whatever is the case, this conflict can never end on the war front. We must come to find a diplomatic solution, and this is exactly what we are seeking here. And so Nigeria is seizing the moment again to participate, to lend its voice, as a very important player on the global stage to ensure that all countries of the world have a peaceful resolution to this matter.
Okay, all right, Honorable Minister, that exactly is what a lot of people or countries are hoping for, to see that this war is ended once and for all. And it's been on for years. Nigeria's stand has been known for a two-state solution. What do you want to tell Nigerians about this, the stand of Nigeria, and how you think it will end the war?
Well, Nigeria is very consistent on that. It supports a two-state solution with Israel and Palestine living side by side in peace and security within very secured borders for both countries. Nigeria feels that that is the only way forward. We must go back to the root of the matter. Of course, this conflict is rooted in the fact that both countries feel that there is something that they are losing. So Nigeria feels that if all of them come together, and then there is this imperative of the principle of two-state solution, Israel living as a state, as it does now, in peace and security, the Palestinians also having that. And recall that unless you do that, look at the way the conflict is already going, spilling over the borders of both Israel and Palestine. It's going to Lebanon, and we are also seeing that Iran is also being gradually brought into the conflict. So unless this solution is found, and unless there is a diplomatic solution to it, this may engulf the entire region, and in effect, it will also engulf the entire world. Nigeria is a very important country, like I said earlier. Unless there is peace in the Middle East, there is no way Nigeria will not have also issues to contend with. Already, we are seeing movement of people around the region. Nigeria, because of its proximity, is likely to begin to draw some of the people who are escaping this conflict from. And we also have our own share of issues here. So we want all these states to live in peace, to live in harmony within secured borders, so that the world can be at peace.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, Information, National Orientation, for your time. All right, the program is coming up, of course, tomorrow, Monday, and the President Bola Tinubu, is expected to be one of those who will address the summit, and you can be sure to get that live on NTA network service. It's back to you in the studio for now.
Well, thank you so much, Musbao. Now, the presidency has advised the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, to deploy his energy and skills into playing the role of a statesman after his popularity was put to test for 6 times in the race for the presidency of Nigeria. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the presidency says that former vice president lacks contemporary knowledge about national and global economies and gullible to fallacies which are delusional and hypocritical. The statement added that Atiku is still battling with the shock of defeat when he should brace up in joining hands with the Tinubu's presidency, which is running a reformed agenda that is promising and has proven to provide a gradual and permanent solution to Nigeria's economic challenges in both oil and non-oil sector, and stop being blind to some of the major strides achieved. Bayo Onanuga says the 5.4 trillion naira recovered from subsidy removal is being channeled into meeting critical developmental needs, and assured that reforms to activate the 4 refineries, support modular and Dangote refineries is in top gear, while workers' welfare is also receiving a boost, as seen from the implementation of a new minimum national wage. He urged the former vice president to hide his head in shame following series of corruption charges against him and his family, and allow the president to focus on the task of reconstructing the economy his party, the PDP, destroyed for more than a decade. Now, Africa Women Conference, AWC, has conferred on Eminent Africans Gender Equality Champions Award in recognition of their firm commitment to women and girls' well-being, especially the vulnerable. At an awards evening to Climax AWC Zambia 2024 events in Lusaka, gender advocates amplify adoption of digital education and empowerment in realizing the African transformation agenda. Oluseyi Adegbo captures sights and sounds of the evening.
The African Women Conference, Zambia 2024, has been quite engaging and exhilarating. Now it's time to recognize voices that have recently clamored for the cause of the African woman.
Tonight, we celebrate the achievement of those who have made significant strides in this.
For the co-convener AWC, Dr. Jume Amejo, and others, the continent is with policies already, but feel it's time to match words with action.
As we conclude this year's conference, let us carry forward the momentum we have built. Together, we can harness our potential, create an Africa where every woman is empowered and succeed.
The quest is to also transform Africa to the base of gender equality, and the roaring voices behind this, especially the Nigerian Television Authority, with its Director General, Saliu Abdulhamid Dambos, taking the Media Champion Award.
Every year, the NTA has been out here and he has supported us and the work of women empowerment all over the country.
The way the world is going today, we need everybody, leave no one behind. It means for concepts of this nature, projects of this nature, we all must put our best because for all our benefits. If the woman does well, it's for humanity.
I have to appreciate the organizers of this one. To think about the rural women, but we've been advised on the ways in which we can bring these products to the market through we that have the phones and internet.
I expect delegates to go back and become change agents, become igniters of more digital inclusion for women.
African Women Conference Next Generation takes the baton to organize the next edition. And it is an exciting moment for these champions who get inducted into the AWC Hall of Fame. From Lusaka in Zambia, Oluseyi Adegbo, Nta News.
Now, 12 autonomous communities in Ezza South Local Government Area of Ebonyi State have denounced the practice of female genital mutilation in their land, owing to its inimical effect on the girl child. Fortunate Ozo reports that the denouncement publicly done at Onueke General Hospital has made the state 75% free from the practice of female genital mutilation.
For more than 1 decade, foreign agencies in partnership with successive state administrations have identified Ebonyi State as one of the states in the country where female genital mutilation practice is endemic. Despite campaigns exposing dangers of FGM and domestication of a legal framework known as Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, VAP, the practice still persists in parts of the state. But it seems there is a light at the end of the tunnel, as many communities, having realized the dangers inherent in the ugly practice, have in recent times declared their decision to abandon the practice. The most recent of such declarations was that of the 12 communities that make up Ezza South Council area of the state.
The Ezza South area of Ebonyi State have recognized the immediate and long-term negative health consequences of FGM. It is our conclusion that FGM is not and cannot be of any benefit to our people and community.
Representatives of some partners in the fight against FGM said There is no going back until all communities in the state publicly denounce the practice, which has been identified to be inimical to the girl child.
That we are conducting today, it is very symbolic. Very symbolic in the sense that about 12 communities, I understand, are declaring abandonment of FGM today.
It simply means that that women and girls will no longer experience that harm, those consequences that are attached to the practice of female genital mutilation.
Stakeholders in the health sector, community leaders, as well as traditional rulers promised to enforce the declaration in their various domains as machineries have been put in place to monitor compliance.
FGM is not just a harmful practice. It is a violation of basic human rights, impacting the physical and mental well-being of countless girls and women across generations.
We must make sure that our women get their freedom and to have their happiness in future.
Leaders of the 12 communities were presented with certificates and signposts to mark the declaration. In Abakaliki, Fortunate Ozo, NTA News.
We now take a short break. The news continues in a moment. Please don't go away. Now, for some residents of Calabar Metropolis, the night of 9th November 2024 will not be forgotten in a hurry, as the rainstorm which occurred that fateful night brought sorrow, rendering some people homeless, and also destroyed the aesthetic outlook of parts of the city. Paul Abel visited some of the scenes and tells us more.
As the rains recede, it comes with storm, thunder, and lightning in southern Nigeria. And the night of November 9, 2024, in Calabar was a night of disaster. A move round the metropolis showed the devastation on public and private buildings, as the civil defense complex was not also spared.
ICT, admin, up to Arms Command Office, anti-vandal offices, Savicom, the gates, even the auditorium, we are all affected.
Coming to the site, I can see the enormity of the damages that have been done to the headquarters of civil defense across the state. Honestly, to be able to assess the damage is just to make an understatement.
The aesthetic outlook was not spared also, including ornamental trees along Murtala Mohammed Highway, Good Shepherd Monument, school buildings, fallen electric poles, also in Calabar South, restricting movement of people even till the next day.
It was God though that helped us. We were just at the scene when everything was happening. The rain was so heavy.
The best we can do is just remedy the situation, just clean up the environs, and possibly we should start planting trees that have a deeper taproot closer to the road.
At 6 o'clock we were already on the street and cleaning up everywhere, and then walking and then restoring the city of Calabar back to its own natural green and clean.
The people are optimistic that government will take proactive measures to forestall reoccurrence of the destruction to the metropolis. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
The spate of vandalism on power infrastructure in the country continues as the transmission line along Lokoja Gwagwalada has been pulled down. A statement by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, states that 3 towers along Line 1 have been vandalized, disrupting bulk power transmission along the route. The vandals also stole 2 spans of aluminium conductor from the Line 1. Though a double-circuit line, TCN assures that it is still supplying bulk power through Line 2, while efforts are underway to replace the aluminium conductors for the 2 spans stolen from the Line 1. TCN describes the rising trend of vandalism on transmission lines and towers as threats to the country's power infrastructure and hindering the expansion and stability of the national grid, as it again appeals to communities hosting transmission lines and towers to collaborate with it and security operatives to combat the menace. Now, after months of intelligence gathering and painstaking surveillance, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have smashed 2 major cross-border drug trafficking syndicates with cocaine and opioids worth billions of naira recovered from them, while 6 leaders of the cartels were arrested in different parts of the country. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim has details to tell us.
It was the end of the road for leaders of the syndicate, known as notorious for their cross-border activities. They were arrested at different locations across the country in possession of different types of psychoactive substances, including cocaine and tramadol, concealed in vehicle parts. Meanwhile, NDLEA operatives in Apapa Seaport, Lagos, on Wednesday, 6 November, intercepted 31,750,000 pills of Voltron, a controlled opioid packaged and concealed in a container imported from India as diclofenac tablets. At the Murtala Mohammed International Airport import shed Ikeja, Lagos, NDLEA officers intercepted a 700 grams consignment of Loud. A software engineer who showed up to collect the package was promptly arrested, and a follow-up search of his home in Lekki led to the recovery of some drug paraphernalia, including cannabis crusher. In Abuja, NDLEA operatives in the Federal Capital Territory on Thursday, 7th November, intercepted a truck along Abaji-Ukwali Road with 755.50 kilograms cannabis concealed under empty cartons of noodles. Discoveries and arrests were also made in Kaduna, Kano, Edo, Plateau, Kwara and Ondo State during the week under review. These include war against drug abuse advocacies across the country. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembo, says all members of the organization are deeply saddened by the news of the passing of Joy Osiagu, cherished former colleague, respected reporter, and accomplished newscaster. In a condolence message to the family of the deceased, the Director General notes that Joy embodied the spirit of journalism with her unwavering dedication, integrity, and passion. He says she brought to her role not only an exceptional talent for storytelling, but also a deep sense of responsibility to the truth. Noting that throughout her career, Joy's professionalism and commitment set a high standard, inspiring both her colleagues and viewers alike with her voice, a trusted source of news, her presence, a steady guide during pivotal moments in the country's history. She remains etched in the foundation of NTA's mission, the DG says. He extends heartfelt condolences to her family, friends, and all who had the honor to work alongside her, praying that her soul rests in peace. Her family finds comfort in knowing the profound impact she had on the field of journalism and the lives of countless Nigerians. This is where we end the news. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Justin Bemui. I say do have a good night.